Yes, children. So finally we understood that the MNCs joins with the, yes, so local companies, and then the benefits to the local companies is they'll be giving some additional, the amount for the capital investment, that is to extend their new machineries or all those things, and then even it will help for the bringing of some new technology. Okay, and the next one we can see that, see, MNC invest is to buy up local companies and expand production. The first one we understood that they'll be jointly joining with the local companies and they'll be starting the production. And the second one is that the MNC the investment is to buy the local companies and expand the production. So that time what happens, here they will be buying the local companies which will be already existing in the local market. So they used to purchase those local companies and then they'll be start investing some other additional, the amount, and then they'll be expanding their productional activities. Okay, that is the second method. The first one, it is they'll join with the local companies and they'll be increasing the production or expanding the production. And the second one, it is the MNCs will invest is to buy the companies, that is to buy the local companies. Okay, so they'll be purchasing the local companies and whatever the policies or the methods or the technology they can invest, and they can invest the money, so they'll be expand the production. Okay, that is also very much important. Okay, children, there we can see one example, that is the Cargill is one of the, the Cargill Foods is one of the American company. So it is also one of the established American food products company, but it purchased one of the Indian established company. See, Parak Foods is also one of the, the well-known or recognized, the food products companies in India, and it has got, the very good local market. In the local market, it has got the good reputation, and it has attained the good, the reputation in the local market, and it has got some oil refinery units also. Okay, after that, it has joined with the Cargill's Food. That is one of the American company. That means the Cargill company has purchased this Parak Foods. Okay, and then finally, this is one of the, it has started to produce the oil, the production, that is edible oil production. The, per day around 5 million, the pouches or the packets they started to produce. So that is where we can see that it started to increase its production. Okay, this is the second method, children. So they'll be purchasing the local companies and they'll be expanding its production. Okay, this is one of the examples we can see. And the next one, it is, see, top MNCs have wealth exceeding the entire budget of the developing country governments. So here what they are telling, the few MNCs, the few multinational companies, the topmost, the few topmost companies have got the wealth that is the more than the budget of a developing country government. India is also one of the developing country only. Few, the MNCs have got the wealth more than our Indian, the budget of a government. So that time, just imagine how powerful these companies will be. Okay. So that is the reason we can see that MNCs are leading the world. MNCs are, leading the world by creating the job opportunities, by creating the, the varieties of products and all those things, because it has got the good wealth and even the good goodwill also. That is the name. Okay. Hope you people understood, right? The few MNCs have got, the wealth more than a developing country's government budget. Okay, so that's the reason we can see that they are the more powerful, the companies in the world. And the next one, we can see that the third way, the third method is the large MNCs in developed countries place orders for production with small producers. So we saw that, the first one, they'll be joining with the local companies. The second one, they'll be purchasing the local companies and expand the production. But the third one, we can see that the few companies are the few, the MNCs in the developed countries, they will be giving some, the small orders to the local producers. Okay, so they'll be giving some small orders to the producers, so that we can see some garments. So in Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, in some polytechnician cities, we can, the polytechnic cities, we can see that, the more garments workers. So there what happens, they'll be getting the low paid labors. Okay, so that is the one thing. And the one more thing we can see is some call centers also in our countries. So that is also one of the orders they'll be giving to the small producers. And like a, the sports items, the sports goods also we can see. Okay, it's like a football making in a home, and even this is one of the, the cricket bats making in home, all those things. Okay, so finally we understood there are different methods, the people, the MNC started to expand its production. The first one, it is by setting up partnership with the local companies, and the second one, it is by using local companies for supply. And yes, children, and the second one, it is by using local companies for supply. That means they will be purchasing the local companies, but they'll be buying the local companies, or else they'll be joining together with the local companies. And then the one more, it is they will be using or placing the orders to the local companies, or the, the small producers, and by exerting the influence on production at the distant location. So finally what happens, this will help the people, other, the whole globe, that is the production activities will be taking place in the whole world. Okay, so finally you people understood about this. Okay, MNCs, how it works. Okay, and the next one, it is, sorry, that is a conclusion. See, production in these widely, the dispersed locations is getting interlinked. So the finally the production activity started to interlink, okay, in all the countries. So for example, in, the few times we have seen that the MNCs will be joining with the some other, but finally what happens, whatever, even the the third time we have seen that they'll be placing the orders to the local, the producers, the small producers. So that time what happened, they'll take the products which has been produced by the small producers, and they will be, the whole, the sole, the power will be given only to the MNCs. They'll be using only their brand name, and they'll be fixing the prices, all those things. Okay, so finally the production activity started to interlink with the whole world. Okay, and the next one, we can see that foreign trade creates an opportunity for the producers to reach beyond the domestic market. What do you mean by domestic market, children? Yes, the foreign trade means not only within our country. The domestic trade means, the domestic market. That means the activities, the trade activities will be happening only within our country, the boundary, within the boundary of our country, the political boundary of our country. So, but here they are telling the opportunity they'll be producing to extend, beyond this domestic markets. They'll be helping to reach the out of the market. That is not only the domestic market, even to the international market. Okay, to the other countries also. See here, that is what international marketing. Oh, here what happens, not only within a single country, they'll be having a, the trade activities or the marketing activities, the buying and selling activities. That is, that we call it as the international way, we'll call it as import and export activities. Yes or no, children? In the local language, we may call it as buying and selling activity within our country. But if it goes to, other countries, foreign trade, that will be called as a import and the export activities. So that will also, international marketing will also started to increase more and more. Okay, see here. So for example, in your textbook also they have given that, the Chinese toys in India. So how Chinese toys in India came to market? So, for example, Chinese toys are quite cheaper than our Indian toys. Yes or no, children? Because the cost of production is very low and the materials they are using is quite cheaper than compared to our products. So that's the reason what happened in our Indian market, the Chinese products started to replace very faster the Indian products, and people also started or tend to purchase more and more only the Chinese toys because the cost of the prices of the products were cheaper. Okay, so here we can see even some advantages also of these Chinese products and even some disadvantages also. Here what happens, the international trade happened and there is a trade between India and the China, but here some drawbacks to our Indian producers because the Indian products are pretty high cost. The people started to tend to purchase only the Chinese products. So that is the reason our Indian producers started to face lot of problems. That is the loss for the Indian producers. Okay. Yes, children. So finally, here it helps. That is, this activities helps for the, this interlinking of the whole world or the globe. Okay, so here what happens, it is started to connecting the many countries together, integrating, they started to integrate the many countries in the production. So that time what happens, the same kind of products will be having competition not only within the country, wherever they'll be, for example, one product will be producing in India and one product will be producing in America, the same product, but different brand name. But finally, what happens? The competition will be there for that particular product because the global market is there. So that is the reason Indian products and the American products, same product will be, both the products will be competing, and the prices and the quality, everything matters a lot. So that is a reason we can see the prices will be same in all the market, international market and even in the domestic market of those kind of products. Okay. So that is what here we can see, interlinking, the globalization. So usually the market, this productional activities, foreign trade is trying to link between the many countries. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? So here the foreign trade thus, see, foreign trade thus results in connecting the markets or integrating of markets in different countries. So it started to integrate the markets or connecting the markets of the whole world. Okay. So finally we understood, in the earlier we didn't have any kind of this, the foreign trade and all those things. Yes or no, children? So that time the maximum activities were taking through East India Company. Yes or no? Do you guys remember about the East India Company? Yes. So East India Company, through sea routes only we were connecting. But now we started with the many technologies, that is air trade also we started. Okay. So it reduces the time consumption for the distribution of the products. So finally that started to integrate or to connect the countries easier and even the productional activities. So hope you guys understood about the concept, right? If any doubts, guys, please just let me know. Okay, go through the concept once again. Yes, we'll go for recapitulation. See, sorry, this is how foreign trade interlinking markets of different countries, explain with examples. So we know how the foreign trade, sorry, this is not he, this is how foreign trade interlinking markets of different countries. So how it started to interlink, and explain with the example. This Chinese toys example you people can give. And the next one, it is how do MNCs manage to keep their cost of production of their goods low, explain with the example. So how they are setting up their the productional units, that you have to explain. And how do local the companies benefit by collaborating with MNCs. So what are the benefits the local markets are getting by joining or collaborating with MNCs, that you have to explain. Okay, thank you guys. try to make your own notes, study well.